Your mom passing at 10.
Mm-hmm.
How did you deal with that? Were y'all, because of her drug habit, her being in the streets,
Yeah.
did y'all still have a real close bond?
Of course, I was a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? I seen no wrong in my mama. Like no wrong. Even though she went to prison twice, I seen no wrong. And my sister say that to this day. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand. I was too young, but I do. You feel me? But I get it. I get it. How she was raised and where she come from. I understand her moves. You feel me? Not saying that it's right, but I understand.
Yeah.
And I look at everything from both perspectives. You feel me? So, yeah, you know, it definitely was the moments of me saying, you know, I kind of want to do this.
Yeah. Can you take me through that day when you found out like your mom passed, and then going through that process? Like, did a part of you die, or what in you changed once you saw you had to lay your mom to rest?
Just me in general, like, cause like I said, I was a mama's boy. You feel me? So, you know, my pain is to this day. You know what I'm saying? To this day, like I can't never say that it's ever gotten any better. You know what I'm saying? My mama was my everything. Like, you feel me? Like literally was my everything. I remember my mama died on Halloween.
Okay.
So I never celebrated Halloween up until past 3-4 years. And you know, that was my first time taking my kids trick or treating. You feel me? But I remember even the morning that we found out, and the night before on Halloween, my mama asked me, can she go out? You know, she was going anyway, but you know, she was just asking me like, you know, making me feel good or whatever. But you know, I'd never forget. I'm sitting in front of the TV on the floor, and she was like, "Baby, I'm finna go out for a minute. Can I go out?" You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "Yeah, cool. You good, mama? You feel me?" And you know, when I woke up, me and my sister, the police was at our house. You know what I'm saying? And my grandma them, they sent us to school like it was nothing, nothing happened. And nobody verbally told us that my mama died. Like, you feel me? We just kind of picked up on what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I never ever had clarification of somebody saying your mom passed because of this, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so my whole time growing up, like, you feel me? It was just, I just had to figure it out.
Do you understand why your grandmother would have done it that way? Like,
Yeah, it was just a thing that older people did then. They didn't really voice themselves like that. Like everything was just, you got to be tough.
Yeah. Now, Panama City that's Panhandle, right?
Yeah.
What do you say? Because it's like Florida is kind of that weird dynamic. It's like you can go to certain place in Florida and it feel like the South.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then you can go further south in Florida and it can feel like not the South.
Right.
When people say like Florida isn't part of the South, like how do you respond to that?
I don't see how not though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are the bottom. You feel
It's
me?
about as much southern as you can almost get.
As much southern as you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is. And Florida's broke up into three dynamics for the most part: North Florida, Central Florida, South Florida.
Okay.
And they all three are totally different from each other.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from the Panhandle, so it takes us 7-8 hours to get to Miami.
Damn, y'all almost glorify Alabama.
Yeah, we at the line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So are y'all influenced more by like that Alabama, Georgia? Not saying y'all influenced by that Georgia culture, but when it come to music, well, then I can't even say because like, okay, let's go back.
Mm-hmm.
Florida hip hop history. We know Uncle Luke, that bass music came out of Florida.
Right.
And then it kind of transformed in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Who were some of the early influences for you music-wise coming out of Florida? Because right now, Florida, y'all on fire
for sure
in hip-hop right now. But coming up, who influenced you coming out of?
Definitely Trick Daddy.
For sure.
Definitely Trick Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Was my influence. Poison Clan, JT Money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, those were my influence. You feel me? But I've always been a Scarface fan. Like, that's my top two artists, like, of all time. You feel me? 8 Ball and MJG. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Real quick. And this kind of derail. We get back to the story.
For sure.
Who will win in the verses for you? 8 Ball, MJG, UGK.
I'm an 8 Ball and MJG fan, but because of UGK global status, they're gonna have more records that's known to the masses. But I'm an 8 Ball and MJG fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Coming Out Hard album was it for me.
You see,
feel me?
Me growing up in the Midwest, I was more of a 8 Ball MJG fan. I didn't really catch UGK until I really didn't like UGK until I moved to Texas.
Okay.
Then I started hearing it so much.
Yeah.
Then I was cool, but I ain't gonna lie. Because before I moved here, I lived in Georgia for 2 years. I was in Americas, like in the country.
Oh yeah, I know America. Yeah. For sure.
And so I didn't like Gucci at the time.
Right.
I felt like, bro, he wasn't lyrical to me because I come from Detroit.
Okay, for
so,
sure.
you know, Eminem, all these aggressive, not aggressive, but extra complicated bars.
Yeah.
That's what I thought spitting was. So to come down here and it's slow, I'm like, hell no. That nigga, I heard Gucci line, he said, my money long like Shaq feet.
Yeah.
And the nigga came to me like, nigga, that ball hard. And I'm like, hell no.
Straight up.
But living down here, I got acclimated. I was like, oh, now I can understand why people appreciate the Gucci, why they appreciate UGK, and especially Pimp C. Because another thing with Pimp C, he's like on that the shit with him and Outkast, he said, you not a pimp, you's a fairy.
Yeah.
And if somehow he said fairy, I hated that shit. I was like, but I could appreciate the Southern culture, man. So I just jumped off with the UGK and 8 Ball, but
for sure.
I was always 8 Ball first.
Okay.
So you get into this like, cause Uncle Luke coming out, you got Trick Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Cause you by how old? Like 39, 38?
Yeah, 39.
So we right there together.
Yeah.
So like I remember Trick Daddy like having his wave, you know, Nan with him, Trina, that's when they going crazy.
Right.
And that's when I was fucking. Anytime I think of Florida, I always thought of females. I feel like y'all really introduced and popularized having ratchet, beautiful women in videos.
Right.
What else do you feel like Florida hip hop contributed to the culture?
That's a good question. Far as music, I mean, we created, you know what I'm saying, from Slip and Slide, Po Boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They created a lot of artists that, you know, became really successful and influential for hip hop.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Not just one hit wonders. Of course, you know, Luke, he changed the game in freedom of speech.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, those are pioneers that paved the way for a lot of people that you could never take nothing away from.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And even though they don't get the credit they deserve, you feel me? Especially him, you still gotta respect it.
Yeah.
And you gotta understand, like, you feel me? Like, if it wasn't for this, like, we would be in a different place.